No, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome everyone to the March 11th, 2019 meeting of the Litchfield Board of Selectmen. The board is coming out of a paperwork review session. I'd like to call the meeting to order as it's at 6:04 and start with a pledge of allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Selectman Schaefer has been excused tonight due to a family issue. And before we start, I just want to take a second to congratulate and thank Selectman Kevin Bork. This is his final meeting. And Kevin, we appreciate all that you've done with us, for us, and for the town. And we wish you the best, and hope you remember us and come back and visit.
Absolutely. Pleasure working with all you guys. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, first order of business, review and approval of consent items. And in the consent agenda, we have the meeting minutes for February 25th. Accounts payable manifest March 5th of $1,836,182.79. March 12th of $81,669.93. We have a payroll manifest for March 7th of $55,014.29. And March 14th of $51,289.17. We have treasurer, tax collector, and town clerk reconciliations for the months of January and February. We have a veterans tax credit of $300, and we have a tax abatement of $367.95. Are there any items that members would like to have removed from the consent agenda? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve. Moved by Mr. Brunel.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Weber. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstain? Motion carries 4-0-0. Are there any additional items that members would like added to the agenda tonight? Okay, hearing none. We'll just notify everyone, public input will occur no earlier than 6:15 tonight. And we'll go on to the regular order of business. The first item is fire department utility truck purchase. Mr. Brown.
Okay, thank you. As the board recalls, back at the end of 2018, Chief Reitzel from the fire department asked the board to encumber funds for the replacement of their utility vehicle. They have gone out and collected quotes from some of the New Hampshire state vendors, but the best value that they received was from MHQ, which is specializes in municipal vehicles and equipment. They have been awarded the state bid in the state of Massachusetts, and they have quoted a 2019 Ford Super Duty pickup truck. I believe it's an F-250, in the amount of $32,109.40. This comes with, it's all prepped and ready for a snowplow package, but we are going to shop around and actually look for a better price for the plow. And of course, there'll be some fit-up costs and this changing over the radio equipment and some of the other equipment that's on the existing utility truck. Funding for this purchase is coming primarily from the detail fire department detail fund in the amount of $23,500, and out of the $16,000 that we encumbered, we will be using $8,609.40 of that. At this point, we'll come back to the board and use the remaining balance as we purchase the plow and do the fit up.
Questions from members of the board? We did discuss this with the chief, and any discussion? Any further discussion before I will entertain a motion to approve? Okay, I will accept the motion.
I move to authorize the purchase of a 2019 Ford Super Duty pickup truck from MHQ in the amount of $32,109.40 and the use of $23,500 from the Fire Detail Fund and $8,609.40 from the funds encumbered for this purpose.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Weber,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Brunel. Is there any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstain? Motion carries 4-0-0. Okay, the Fire Department Emergency Management Performance Grant, $80,000. Mr. Brown.
Okay, Chief Freitzel had approached me. I know he's been talking to the board about the possibility of trying to leverage some grant funding to outfit the new fire station. And one of the areas that he was really counting on is to get equipment, furniture, radio communication equipment to establish or equip the emergency management center. So what he's asking for this evening is if the board would grant permission for him to submit an application to the Department of Safety. The grant request will be in the amount of $80,000. This is a 50-50 match. So if we're awarded the funds, $40,000 will be cash from the state up to that amount. The other 50% that the town's required to appropriate will actually be in kind, and we'll be using the construction of the new building as leverage. So actually, we're not going to be spending any additional funds. We're just using the new construction as leverage.
That's great that they can do that now. That requires no additional appropriation.
No additional
Nice.
appropriation. And again, this would, it's going to fund radio equipment, training, furniture, tables and desks like this for their emergency operations center, which we don't, I don't think we really have an official ELC right now. We have one, but it's not equipped like a very,
Right.
modern facility. So again, this is just submitting the grant. We don't know if we'll be awarded. Hopefully we've got a good competitive application here. But this will be the first step. If awarded, it'll be coming back to you. We'll have to post a public hearing because of the amount is above the $10,000 threshold. And, the board would take action.
Excellent. Questions from members of the board? He also told us he was going to be doing this, and we have been informed of this before. Okay, if there's no additional questions, I'll entertain a motion to accept this request.
I move to accept the terms of the Emergency Management Performance Grant as presented in the amount of $40,000 for the purchase and installation of equipment at the Primary Emergency Operations Center, EOC. Furthermore, the board acknowledges that the cost of this project will be $80,000, in which the town will be responsible for a 50% match.
Okay, moved by Mr. Weber,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Brunel. Any further discussion or questions? Okay, all in favor of approving the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstain? Motion carries 4-0-0. Okay, Mr. Brown, Municipal Complex sign improvements. Before you start, I just want to congratulate you and thank you for the sign up in the north end, for facilitating that. We have a nice new welcome sign at the north end of town. And if it wasn't for your efforts, that would not be up there. So we need to recognize that. And I want to thank you on behalf of us.
Very, took longer than we expected. We had to find a property owner that was willing to allow us to put it on their property. We had a property owner who then decided that they no longer wished to have the sign on their property. Another one stepped up and then changed their mind. And eventually, Mr. and Mrs. Ham, who have lived in town for 45 years, agreed and allowed us to place the sign on their property. So And once we had that agreement in place, working with DOT, a lot of right-of-way issues and just safety designs of the sign. So it prolonged the installation of the sign. But the goal was to get the sign up before the annual presentation of the Pat Jewett Award, and we pulled it off last Friday.
Congratulations.
So, thank you.
It looks good.
This item here is before you. Chairman Lemire had asked me a couple months ago if we could start looking at trying to refresh the entrance signs that we have on Albuquerque and Hillcrest. And if you ever
And
take,
also Hillcrest and 3A.
yeah, well, that one I think is kind of being worked on with the beautification effort.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
So Richard Curry, as a resident here in town, he owns a sign business, and he did all the signage at the fire station. I had him take a look at our sign, and he's just come up with some basic, not really basic. I think they're all, it's not really changing the design that much, but looking to add the fire station, obviously. If you're up close to the signs, you'll see that they really need to be painted again. The one on Hillcrest is not black. It's actually the same color scheme as the town office. It's a beige white.
Yeah.
That one's in real poor condition as far as just needing some attention. It's not structurally, it's fine. The plastic insert that you see would be replaced. You'd get a real nice, new, fresh blue look with the white lettering. And so I'm just introducing this to you this evening, kind of looking for direction on how you'd like me to, if you're interested in doing this. Two, how would you like me to select a final design? Do I interact with the community? Do I look for
That's what
a
I'd say.
police chief, fire chief, just internally?
I'd say throw it out to the community like Matt did with the flags.
Yep.
Get some input on what people would like to see.
Because fine.
Yeah, and the
Now
big
that's
question will be
The lit one out here you're talking about. That is
Yeah.
slide number 3, right?
so the first one, the first 3 is the ones on Albuquerque,
Okay,
and the last 3 is Hillcrest.
excellent.
Well, if I had a vote, it's the second one on each one of them.
Me,
Second
yes.
option.
You like the
Yeah, I
line,
that.
Yes.
I like the line across.
line underneath
yeah.
Litchfield?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
I like that one as well.
Yeah, I don't like the background, the white
Yeah, I think
That
that'll
kinda-
be too distracting.
cheapens it. Yeah.
And I like the fact that,
And the other one says Litchfield Town Hall, Police Station, and
Fire station.
Fire Station.
Encompasses the complex.
Right. The other ones don't say that. So,
yeah, I like the line under Litchfield because it kind of
Number
highlights
4
things,
says
Litchfield pop, and then everything else is there.
right.
But we certainly, let's throw it up. We can do it as a Facebook
Yeah,
pro
do
poll
a
kind of
little-
thing too. Make
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff. Get some-
And when we do this, there's no money. We'd have to find some funds available in the budget to do this. The sign person did recommend that when you go in and update, refresh these signs, we probably should look at replacing the electrical system in them because of their age. So I think that's, I'll proceed there and see if we can get a design that we like, and then we can start working with a cost estimate as well.
Okay. Excellent.
Looks great.
Okay, it is 6:18. So at this point, I will open the meeting for public input. Is there anyone here that would like to offer public input? And seeing and hearing none, I will close public input and move on to reports and other business. Mr. Brown, welcome back from.
Okay, thank you. Couple things to report. Just wanted to let you know that Talon Hall, we know we have a temporary heating system up and operating. This weekend, we received a phone call from Selectman Weber. He was there with baseball practice, and there was no heat. So, we discovered that we had run out of propane. And what we've learned is that the calculation that's used for the automatic delivery is obviously
Seems to be flawed.
seem to be flawed due to the fact that we've gone from the system that broke, and we've put in this temporary system. So as of right now, I believe our deliveries will be on a weekly basis. We'll be monitoring the tank. And luckily, we're kind of getting close to the end of the heating season. Got a few months,
We're
a month and
hoping.
a half left, but at least it wasn't minus 10 over the weekend. So Doug and I made the decision that we didn't need to incur the extra cost of special deliveries over the weekend. We just dealt with it this morning. So just a heads up there in case you hear anything about it. This week, on Thursday, the 14th, I'm going to be attending a training session. Primax is our workers' comp and property liability insurance carrier, and they're sponsoring a workshop on reviewing your employee handbooks and what's the do's and don'ts. And in the afternoon, when I leave Concord, I'll be going to the Bedford Police Department, and we have our stormwater management meeting. We're actually having a group come from the Seacoast and our group over in the greater Nashua area. So I'll be attending that. As you know, the voter guide was in the newspaper. It got inserted last Friday. Everything, as far as I know, I've made contact with the school, the town clerk. Everything's set and ready to go for tomorrow. So I spoke with David Ross at the school this morning. He said everything's good to go. So we're shouldn't have any communication problems with setup and hours and everything like that. But sometimes these elections sneak up on you and you assume everyone knows everything and they don't. But we're all good to go. So.
Excellent. Questions for Troy? Okay. Selectmen reports, Mr. Weber.
Nothing to report from the planning board. We did not have our last meeting due to an extremely light agenda. The next meeting is next Tuesday.
Okay. Mr. Brunel.
Nothing official to report, but I do want to say it's been a pleasure serving with this board. So depending on the outcome tomorrow, I hope to be returning, but and I hope everybody comes out and votes, but it's been a pleasure.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to have you, and do hope to continue.
I do.
Editorial comment, sorry. Our last Heritage Committee meeting was canceled because of the snowstorm, and we have not set one up again. We will be doing that shortly. Mr. Bohr?
Nope, just once again, just to ditto what John said. It's been a pleasure working with all you guys. So wish you the best in moving forward as far as the town is concerned. And again, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I just add one thing in case?
Absolutely.
Because you're all going to be at the polls tomorrow, and you probably will be approached by some of the voters asking about the status of the fire station. So based on my conversations with the fire chief, it looks like the building will be officially turned over to the town maybe next week.
Wow.
And then at that point in time, there's still a concrete apron that needs to be installed. And then, in the spring, we'll be doing the remainder of the site work. But we probably have another at least 4 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, worst case scenario, of our own internal. Once we get ownership of the building, then we have all the outfitting that we need to do. A lot of IT work, security systems, all the equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the vehicles, the safety equipment can't go into the Bay Area, into the concrete pads in place. And
Secure.
And the building has to be 100% operational. So those trucks, the last thing that will be coming in that building will be the trucks.
Okay.
So, from what I've heard, again, things change on a weekly basis, but there doesn't seem to be any unknowns at this point in time. But we're looking at maybe a changeover around mid-April.
Okay.
It lines
Great.
up with what I was told too. So
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, there were no items removed from consent. There was no other business before the board tonight. The next regular meeting will be March 25th, 2019. Town and school elections are tomorrow. Polls are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at Campbell High School. And for the first time in 2 years, it appears that we're going to have some nice weather, that we don't have to worry about it. And I just want to take a little administrative or chairman privilege to thank an individual that's sitting in the audience tonight for all her work on the ceremony that we're about to participate in tonight, the Pat Jewett award ceremony. Laura Gandia, again, on behalf of the town, thank you for everything that you do. And it's wonderful to see a positive outcome and a positive night that we can all celebrate something good. And so we appreciate it. So, and thank you very much. Okay, if there's no other business to come before the board, we do have a very brief non-public session. We have to go in. So I will accept a motion to go into non-public under section RSA 91A:3(2)A, compensation of an employee. And we will only come out of non-public session to adjourn the meeting. And so I will accept that motion now.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Brunel,
Second.
seconded by Mr. Weber. Roll call, Mr. Weber.
Yes.
Mr. Brunel.
Yes.
And I vote yes. Mr.
I
Bork?
vote yes.
Okay, unanimous vote. We are now in non-public session at 6:25 PM.